Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivas Adi Gaura Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. We're just waiting. I assume devotees can hear. We're just waiting a few moments and we will be with Srila Bhakti Sudhir Goswami Maharaj and all of the team in Chiang Mai to hear the glories of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur.
Yes, Maharaj, and we'll begin with Guru Maharaj's composition, the Pranamami Siddha Prabhupada Padam, titled Sri Sri Prabhupada Padma Stavaka, famous throughout the three worlds, but particularly from the heart of Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj. He so overwhelmed by the beauty of Srila Guru Maharaj's glorification of Saraswati Thakur that every mat he visited, which was all of them, he would sing this song, and the devotees, all disciples of Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur would be, oh, Babaji Maharaj, how wonderful is that song? Where did this song come from? And from the heart of Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Jai Srila Bhakti Sudhir Goswami Maharaj ki Jai, and to all of the devotees present ki Jai. Maharaj, I leave the microphone with you, Maharaj. I'm here to hear.
There's the mridanga player. Oh, you got it there. Okay. Sujanar Buddharadita Pada Jugam Juga Dharma Durandara Patabaram Sujanar Buddharadita Pada Jugam Varadabaya Dayaka Puja Padam Pranamami Sada Prabhu Pada Padam. Bhajano Jita Sajjana Sangapatim Patitadika Karuni Kaika Gatim. Gati Vanchita Vanchak Achintya Padam Pranamami Sada Prabhu Pada Padam. Pati Kamala Kanchana Dirga Tanum Tanu Nindita Hema Mrinala Madam. Madanar Buddha Bandita Chandra Padam Pranamami Sada Prabhu Pada Padam. Nija Sevaka Taraka Ranjividum Vijutahita Hum Krita Simhavaram. Varanagata Balisa Sanda Padam Pranamami Sada Prabhu Pada Padam. Vikuli Krita Vaibhava Gaura Bhuvam Bhuvaneshu Vikirtita Gaura Dayam. Gaura Janasraya Vishwa Gurum Guru Gaura Kisoraka Dasya Param Paramadrita Bhakti Vinoda Padam Pranamami Sada Prabhu Pada Padam Ragurupa Sanatana Kirti Dharam Dharanita La Kirtita Jiva Kavim Kabiraja Narottama Sakya Padam Pranamami Sada Prabhu Pada Padam Kripaya Hari Kirtana Murti Dharam Dharani Bharaharaka Gaura Janam Janakadika Vatsala Snigdha Padam Pranamami Sada Prabhu Pada Padam Sharanagata Kinkara Kopa Torum Toru Dikrita Dhira Badanya Baram Paradendra Ganachita Dibya Padam Pranamami Sada Prabhu Pada Padam Paramhamsa Varam Paramarthapatim Patito Dharane Krita Besa Jatim Jati Raja Ganai Parisevya Padam Pranamami Sada Prabhu Pada Padam Krishabhanu Suta Doitanu Charam Charanasrita Renu Darastamaham Mahadadbhuta Pavana Shakti Padam Pranamami Sada Prabhu Pada 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 Padam Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Gaura Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Gaura Hari Bo. Jai Gaura Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Gaura Hari Bo. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajakaacharya Bharja Sataraswati Sri Srimad Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Tirobab Mahamahotsavatiti Ki Jai. Prabhupada Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Tirobab Mahamahotsavatiti Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramananda Thakur Srila Gaur Kishoras Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Sri Srila Sachidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Sri Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Saparikar Sri Sri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Ju Ki Jai. Jai Saparikar Sri Sri Guru Gauranga Radha Govinda Sundar Ju Ki Jai. Shri Giriraj Govardhan Ki Jai. Jai Saparikar Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharva Govinda Sundar Jiu Ki Jai. Shri Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. Shri Rup Sanatan Bhatta Ragana Shri Gopal Bhatta Das Ragana Sad Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Srup Ramananda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Navadip Dham Ki Jai. Shri Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Shri Gaudiya Mat Ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai. Shri Gupta Govardhan Ki Jai. Ganga Devi Jamuna Devi Bhakti Devi Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Om Vishnupad Vishva Varenya Srila A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Madhacharya Vrinda Ki Jai. Jai Srila Bhakti Vimalabhadut Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Srila Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudan Maharaj Ki Jai. Sannyasi Vrinda Ki Jai. Seva Vrinda Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakti Vrinda Ki Jai. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Tirubab Mahamahotsavatiti Ki Jai. Nitai Go Premanande.
Jai Srila Bhakti Sudhir Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi. Hari Hari.
Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Gurudev. Hare Krishna. Sometimes in Sri Dham Mayapur, some simple-hearted devotee, Vaishnava follower Saraswati Thakur, find some wonderful flowers and come to give, Prabhupada. And Saraswati Thakur say, first you offer to the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu, and then you can bring to me. When they were constructing a house there, there's the ground floor and the first floor, right, in this part of the world. And so Saraswati Thakur was saying that he would live on the ground floor. And the devotees were puzzled, and they felt like, then who can be on the first floor above him? then no one can stay there. And so they said, Prabhupada, who will be on the first floor? He said, oh, that is for our Guru Varga. Gaur Kishore Das, Babaji Maharaj, Bhakti Vinod, our Guru, they stay there. And his thematically, his motto, where he condensed everything into a line to be sung, and as the procession, Gandharvika Giridhar is the opening of the Bhag Bazaar Gaudiya Mat, Pujala Ragapat Gaurava Bange, Matala Sarujana Vishaya Range, Ragapat, Ragamard, the higher devotees, they're above as worshipable. And one step removed in this plane, we are moving and trying to engage everyone in the service of their holy lotus feet. The Vishaya Range could be puzzling to the Bengali section. So Gurudev, when Babaji Maharaj wanted to put this all in, Gurudev changed it. Kirtana Range. Why? And others will not understand, but Vishaya can mean the mundane. So, but what is the meaning of Saraswati said? We're engaged with these same mundane things, but we're using them in the service of our Guru Varga. Or as people are attracted, like why do we put the deities in such beautiful outfits and we want to give them jewels and gold and everything? Because we are attracted to those things. And we give them to Krishna, Radharani, Krishna, Mahaprabhu, and try and make, and then everyone will say, oh, how beautiful they are. Yanmartili lo payakam swayoga, mayabalam darsatayam grahitam, vishmapanam swasya sobagarde, param param bhushana bhushanangam. Says in the Bhagavatam, Krishna, he's the ornament's ornament. And it's not, that's bhushana bhushanangam. So everything becomes beautified in connection with Krishna. So he is employing all the things of this world, employing the principle given by no less than Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhu, Nirbandha Krishna Sambandha Yukta Vairagyam Uchite, Yukta Vairagya, that the fear or the sting of interacting with the mundane, if it is Yukta Vairagya, do not reject something or dismiss something that could be used in divine service. And if it is used exclusively in divine service, then no reaction will come to you for that. So, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he sometimes Gurudev would say, attracted to the wealth and the melted heart of Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, he descended in this plane to distribute that wealth. There must be a distributor. He wants to distribute that wealth. And we say descended from that plane when that is the very plane of aspiration of others. He's descended from that plane to distribute the wealth and bring you in connection with it and uplift everyone. When he went on the Brajamandal Parikrama, like we had the good fortune with Madhusudan Maharaj and others to go Brajamandal Parikrama, visit all the holy places. Madhusudan Maharaj, he's done the entire thing numerous times. He may be doing it right now, right? And like in a deep orbit, but he's always on Brajamandal Parikrama. And so because there are different ways to do that, we told mercifully, Tejo, Vadi, Madam, Yatavin, the rocks melting in connection with the lotus feet of Krishna. right? The liquid becoming stunned and frozen, solid, and the solid becoming melted liquid. So that footprint of the Govardhan, of Krishna's footprint at Radha Damodar temple now, as for Sanatana Goswami Prabhu. So you can do, that's considered, you do parikrama around that, you're doing the whole of Vrindavan. But then there are other ways we do, sometimes abbreviated, and then the full. But after completing, a month-long parikrama of Brajamandal, Vrindavan, the land of Krishna, right? Where everyone is saying the names of Sri Sri Radha and Govinda. We're told Saraswati Thakur went, he said, "Oh, I am so unfortunate." Prabhupada, why? I just completed the Brajamandal Parikrama and I couldn't find a single Vaishnav. As Guru Maharaj said, his statements were, where is it? It fell down.
Maharaj, we seem to have lost sound.
No, the microphone was leaving me.
Okay, Maharaj.
Yes, thank you. Guru Maharaj said, our Guru Maharaj's statements were mostly revolutionary. So, and you think about, anyone, particularly in the Western world, comes in connection with Krishna consciousness. It is a revolutionary reconceptualization of reality. But these disciples of Saraswati Thakur, they have some sanskar, some are born in Gaur Mandal or Vrindavan, Braja Mandal. They learn Sanskrit in high school and maybe beyond. Some of them are Sanskritians. And so they have some familiarity. And also they've been members of Sri Gaudiya Math for some time. And because Guru Maharaj say, footnote, sidebar, if you think that you're a Vaishnava, you're on the road to hell. So a Vaishnava, a devotee proper, that is, there's no greater fame than that, according to Ramananda, to Mahaprabhu and the Ramananda Sambha. What is the greatest fame? That one has devotion to Krishna. So still, you could say, in the general sense, taking that they're devotees, we use that term very broadly, but Guru Maharaj, Gurudev, they're always cautioning. So they think they have a grasp of Krishna conception. Remember, but Krishna conception is Krishna. 2 fingers too short. When you try to rope Krishna with the limitations of your conception, you'll find you're dvi-angali, 2 fingers too short. Right? So Saraswati Thakur saying, "Oh, I'm so unfortunate, I couldn't find a single Vaishnav." And the devotees are thinking, we're in Vrindavan. Is not everyone a devotee of Krishna here? This is that one place where everybody's a devotee of Krishna. So what does he mean by this? Then we can understand, talking about a particular quality. If, as we conceive, he descended from Goloka Vrindavan into this plane, then he has a particular standard of devotion. What is devotee in his conception? Who is a Vaishnava in his conception? And he's saying that quality he did not find. So the devotees, they're thinking, they offer up the name of someone who's a Siddha Mahatma, Mahapurush, revered to be so, of the day in Vrindavan, sort of like the leading person who has the fame of being a Vaishnava, a devotee. What about so-and-so? And Saraswati Thakur said, him? He is an infant class. It would be one thing to say third class, or, he's an infant class. I mean, when Guru Maharaj uses words, they're always precise. The precise word is like the lightning bolt to the heart. And they're thinking, he's doing 3 lakhs of Krishna Nam every day, and like 192 and 96 rounds. Only reading the books of Rup Sinat, all these things. And Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur was saying, he is an infant class Vaishnava. And Guru Maharaj is saying, this was a shock for him as well to hear. And he had some opportunity later to observe that person who was the renowned Mahapurush, Siddha Purush, and he concluded that, he said, what he is aspiring to, the plane that he aspires to achieve by his practices, our Guru Maharaj and Bhakti Vinod Thakur have descended from that plane to distribute its wealth. So that Srila Saraswati Thakur, I could say that Srila Guru Maharaj, he, as we sang in this song, glorifying Srila Saraswati Thakur, Nama, Rupa, Guna, Lila, all these things are there. His divine name, his form, Ati Kamala, Kanchana Dirga Tanum, Madanar Buddha Bandita. He's so beautiful, saying like his golden form, like a lotus stalk with this lotus face. The golden lotus stalk presenting this beautiful lotus face that one of the early followers of Saraswati Thakur observed in Mayapur when he's got the inspiration to come out, means to come down from the Mahabhagavata plane and operate from the Madhyam position. Otherwise, for the Mahabhagavata, everything is properly adjusted. Nothing needs adjusting. Because we wonder, why they don't preach? Everything is perfectly adjusted in their vision. So he has to descend to the Madhyam position to distinguish such things. And at the behest of Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, so when he begins interacting with others and preaching, we're told from Saki Charan Babu, who donated the land for Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat in Navadip, one of the early followers of Saraswati Thakur, and was witness to him so passionately presenting Mahaprabhu's Krishna conception. He said sometimes like pounding the table with his fist, madly going on with talks of Mahaprabhu, Krishna, Radharani. All of his talks ended in glorification of Srimati Radharani, Vrishabhanu, the name Sri Barsha Bhanavi Devi, Dvaita, the one who is so dear to Vrishabhanu Nandini, Srimati Radharani. So he's saying, we're what? Observers. We could not understand everything that he's saying. And these are qualified men. And he said, but what we could understand for certain was that he was trying to forcibly push some nectarine substance down our throats, into our hearts and souls. That we could understand. And he said, and when we saw that his divine lotus face flushing pink, white, red, pink, white, red, like this beautiful lotus flower. And what is Guru Maharaj saying there? Madan Arbhuti Chandra Bandita Chandrapada. All these cupids, 1 million cupid, 10 million cupids are swooning in praise of his, the beauty of his divine form. So that Saraswati Thakur, he began the missionary activities of Sri Gaudiya Math, beginning in Mayapur, and then being brought to Kolkata, which is very important at that time in India, and establishing the Sri Gaudiya Math. And he once said that, I began this alone in the jungle of Mayapur some years ago. And he said, now I have 500 men who say what I say. Right? They've been trained, and through them, he's extending Mahaprabhu's Krishna conception to others. So in another verse that I like to quote here, Srila Guru Maharaj said of this verse, Nikhila Bhuvana Maya, he said, I think that my Guru Maharaj would realize that he has been captured in a cage of poetry. Like he said, like the Bengal tiger. They capture a Bengal tiger, put him in and then all the people can come and have a look. You've got the tiger in the cage. I mean, these are the language that Guru Maharaj is using. So we can understand some of the ferocity, the intensity of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He said, so I think I captured my Guru Maharaj in a cage of poetry. Even describing the poem is poetic by Srila Guru Maharaj. And he said, and here, what he will describe is Srila Saraswati Thakur has thrown an atom bomb on the Mayavadis, the Jnanins, the Sahajas. And so, Nikhila Bhuvana Maya, Chinavich Chinakartri, Vibhura Bahulam Rigya Mukti Mohanta Datri, Sitilita Bidi Raga Radha, Radhya Radhesha Dani, Vilasatu Hridi Nityam Bhakti Siddhanta Bani. The purport of the name of Prabhupada, Bhakti Siddhanta Bani. Saraswati means Bani. Remember, his name is Saraswati Thakur. So who is Saraswati? The goddess of speech. The voice. What is the voice of Bhakti Siddhanta? The purport of devotion personified. Eliminating Bhuvamai, the whole misunderstanding domain of Maya. He is cutting asunder, devastating the whole area of Maya that is in the zone of misunderstanding. He is devastating and storming like so many atom bombs. Mukti Mohanta Datri, and also putting a stop to the different scholarly miscalculations of all, the defects in the different types of proposal for liberation, different conceptions of liberation from this miscalculative life have been proposed by so many scholars, and he's throwing an atom bomb on that. Mohanta Datri. That is also a kind of ignorance. He's putting a stop, discharging a death blow to all the scholarly conceptions of different types of emancipation from this Maya, ignorance. Then he says, the third is positive. The first two are negative. The atom bomb over the karmi exploitationist and the Jnani renunciationist. The third, Chitilita Bidi Raga Radhesha Dvani. The positive aspect, he's slackening the regulations and scriptural aspect through love and affection. he is taking all towards Raga Radha, Radhesadani, where Radharani is worshiping, serving through love, her consort. See how Guru Maharaj has transitioned from him dropping atom bombs on the karmis and gyanis to, and what, that's the negative. He's getting rid of all of that. Then we have nothing. No, and then what is he doing? He's making it easy for everyone to do what? Through love and affection, he is taking all towards Radharani, where Radharani is worshiping, serving through love, her Lord consort, taking there. Slack means the shastric, scriptural and other rules and regulations, to minimize them. The regulations of Vidi with the help of love and affection, taking to the domain where Radharani is. So we know that Guru Maharaj, as an example of this, because when we see Srila Saraswati Thakur, he's the personification of gravitas, Jati Rajaganai Parisa, he's the king of all the sannyasins. But he's willing to loosen the rules and regulations for others to make their approach. So once on a walk in Bombay, he said that when they're contemplating preaching in the West, and he mentioned having a youth hostel, right? And he said, I think we can arrange from a restaurant nearby to cater for the non-vegetarians. And Guru Maharaj, being, a Bhattacharya Brahmin, was shocked to hear that. And he thought, and he said, I think the end result of that policy may be to introduce contamination into our section. And he said, Saraswati Thakur, what he spoke struck like a thunderbolt to his heart. He said, oh, you don't know, I decided this 10,000 years ago. That's what he said. Mostly revolutionary statements. In other words, this isn't just something that popped into my mind whimsically. 10,000 years ago, I made this decision. And he said, we have to employ Vaikuntha Vritti. What does that mean in this context? Vaikuntha means without limitation, liberal to the extreme. So he's saying we will have to apply this principle in bringing the Western section and connection with the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu. Guru Maharaj also mentions that his talks mainly mixed for East and West for Western consumption. Right? One of the things he appreciated about Srila Guru Maharaj was his ability to represent Krishna conception in a modern way. So that Saraswati Thakur, he described as an example of employing the technology of the day in the service. He considered the printing press. He described as the Brihat Mridanga. He had so many publications. When he started a daily newspaper, the Nadia Prakash, and people was like, how are we going to have enough, content? He said, what? He said, all these mundane newspapers, and the limited world, the non-Vaikuntha world, there's so many publications, right, with no shortage of content. And he said, so a daily publication representing the unlimited world, you think there'll be some shortage of content? Right? So always he's bringing down the substance from the upper world, expressing that in this plane. Guru Maharaj said sometimes in the divine madness, he would say that I'm going to reveal the abode of Mahaprabhu with jewels and diamonds, and there'll be temples made of jewels and diamonds, rubies, and all these valuable things. And the devotees, there's always some devotee who will go like, how are we going to pay for that? And he said, oh, don't worry about that. He said, I will take one Chinmoy brick from a Vaikuntha temple, and that will more than cover the cost of everything. So don't worry about that. When he said he wanted 1,00,000 of rupees to build the Bagh Bazar Gaudiya Math, in modern dollars, it would be like saying, I want $1 million to build our flagship center. So then one devotee, they affectionately called JBD, Jagabandhu Das, he was wealthy man, he gave 3 lakhs, say $3 million. So all the devotees were ecstatic, and they came, Prabhupada, you asked for 1 million and Jagabandhu gave 3 million. Hare Krishna. And Saraswati Thakur said, that's very good for him. Right? He'll get so much mercy for that. He said, but that was not my idea. They're saying, no, but you asked for 1, he gave 3. He said, no, my idea was that 1 million people would give $1. And that way 1 million people would get Sukriti. But now Jagabandhu, he's come forward and he's collecting all of that Sukriti for himself. So this, when Guru Maharaj says, Janakadika Vatsala Snigdha Padam, he's more, although he looks so grave, the personification of gravitas, and he said, he's more affectionate than your own mother and father. He has greater love and concern from you than your own mother and father. Right? So one devotee said to Guru Maharaj once, like, he must have been very sweet, And Guru Maharaj said, Prabhupada? He said, he had the sweetness of Vrindavan within, and it could only be detected within. When they asked him, like, we must have been singing and dancing in the kirtan. Prabhupada? You see him, they're having a big kirtan, he's there, always in that pose. They're all around him, they're singing and dancing. So, Kripaya Hari Kirtan, the Hari Kirtan Murti, he's infusing that kirtan to come out of all the others. When he was a child, they had a group picture and everyone's supposed to be singing. And the teacher noticed he's not singing. And they said, could you at least move your mouth and make it look like you're singing? So, and he was always getting into arguments with these students who were polluted by Mayavad. And he would counter that with Mahaprabhu's Krishna conception. But reports come from the school to Bhaktivinoda Thakur about your son. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, in consideration of all these reports, I'm a little bit worried about your future. To which Saraswati Thakur said, oh, don't worry about me, I'll manage. So it's Bhaktivinoda Thakur who wanted to entrust the seva puja of Mayapur to Saraswati Thakur, who was hesitant, reluctant to accept that. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur chided him. He said, oh, you've become a nirvisheshvadi, right? The form of the Lord is troublesome to you. And when he understood, oh, it is the wish of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, then of course he consented. And we're told sometimes by Guru Maharaj that initially he envisioned a kirtan hall for Sri Gaudiya Math, like the Haritala. Have a kirtan hall, you have kirtan there, and then pot kirtan, like that. Said, but a piece from a page of Chaitanya Charitamritam came floating to him in the, and it was the one that said, Sadhu Sangha, Nam Sankirtan, Bhagavat Shravan, Mathura Bas, Murti Pratishta Seva, that there should be Sadhu Sangha, Bhagavat Shravan, hearing of the Bhagavatam, Nam Sankirtan, and the Mathura Bas, residence in a holy place. These temples, they themselves be holy places, because Guru Maharaj said Saraswati Thakur distilled the essence of Bhaktivinoda Thakur's teachings is that you must have sadhu sangha. So he's going to create places and establish sadhus there, and by going there, you'll get their association and you'll get the gift of Krishna consciousness. And Murti Shraddhaya Sevan, the establishment of the Sri Murti. So in this, and if you see in the logo of Sri Gaudiya Math, these 5 things are given there, because they're told to be the Panchanga. After 64 different aspects are listed in Sanatan Shiksha, Mahaprabhu, he's saying, of all of them, these 5 are most important. Right? So he established Gaudiya Math for that very purpose. And as we were saying, that some of his disciples were very qualified in different ways. And I wanted to share something from, yes, yeah. So they're hearing, Guru Maharaj says, on their Brajamandal Parikrama, when they go there, what teachings is he giving to them in Vrindavan Dham? Upadesh Amritam, Pralad Charit, means the teachings of Pralad Maharaj, Matirna Krishna, Parataksvatoba, Mitopi Padyeta Grihavritanam, Adanta Gobir, Bisamam, Bisatam, Tamisram, Punat, Charita Charinanam, that you cannot get Krishna consciousness on your own or as a group, but what Naishamati Stavat, Urukramam Grim, Sprashatjanartha, Pagamo Yadartha, Mahi Yasham Parvajo Vishekam. You have to be blessed in the dust of the lotus feet of a genuine Vaishnav. This is what the general discussion while they're there in Vrindavan. And we told when his deputy, who was sent to the Western world to preach, came back in Guru Maharaj's words, half converted, and Prabhupada, Swami Maharaj, and Guru Maharaj and others met him at the dock in Bombay. There's a picture. And they see he's come back, he's not dressed as a sannyasi, and as Guru Maharaj said, half converted. And the devotees are all perplexed. And he says, they ask questions that cannot be answered. And Swami Maharaj Prabhupada says, like, what are those questions? Well, give some examples. And one by one, Guru Maharaj answers the questions that cannot be answered. And that's when Prabhupada Swami Maharaj says, today Europe has been defeated by Asia. So, but then he makes his way to Saraswati Thakur, and that devotee says, what you have is insufficient for them. And Saraswati Thakur, Kripaya Hari Kirtana Murti, is momentarily dumbstruck. Right? And Guru Maharaj said his disciple, Professor Sanyal, wanted to strangle that man. And he started chastising him severely and said, "You have forgotten the first principle of devotion and Krishna consciousness." What? Guru Padasraya. Back at Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Rupa Goswami, Guru Padasraya. One must take shelter of the lotus feet of Sri Guru. And hearing that, Guru Padasraya, when Guru Gora Kishora Kadasya, he remembers the lotus feet of Guru. And then Saraswati Thakur, it's interesting. So Sanyal says that, Guru Padasraya. Saraswati Thakur, meditating on the lotus feet of Gorkishordas Babaji Maharaj, he said, "My Guru Maharaj was functionally illiterate, could not even write his name. And I found all spiritual knowledge in one of the toenails of his holy lotus feet." Right. Such faith, then Srila Gorkishordas Babaji Maharaj. And he's not just speaking rhetorically, really, truly, from the heart, he is saying these things. So, he Kripaya Hari Kirtana Murti Dharam, he's always engaged in Hari Katha. One time, while he's doing that, there's one devotee sitting nearby in the corner, going, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Saraswati Thakur says, "Stop making noise." Not doing noise. You're making noise. I'm taking the holy name of Krishna. Right? Welcome to the Krishna consciousness movement. Saraswati Thakur had to deal with us. That man has, "You're making noise. I'm taking Krishna Nam." Right? So that Saraswati Thakur, we can understand how tolerant he is. He has some Sanskritian disciples saying that the higher teachings, Ujjala Nilamani, we shall, with you, let us explore those things together. Saraswati Thakur told him that that was inappropriate. That was not the subject matter for their class. And as Prakrita Rasa Shatadushini, 100 faults of Prakrita Rasa means Sahaja imitationist. Adhikar, Anvichar, Rupa Nuga Korina, Rasa Shiksha, Rasa Shiksha Deona, something Anvitya. He's saying those who are really in the Rupa Nuga line, they will never give Rasa Shiksha to the unqualified, right? To do so would be a violation, right? And counsel them. So when that man left, Srila Saraswati Thakur said to his devotee, he said, that gentleman, in his real life, he's a lady. And due to Krishna's connection, had a child. So when Guru Maharaj told, he said, "How you will take this, I don't know." But I think, to me, it's another example of the wit of Srila Saraswati Thakur while giving some profound understanding. What does he mean by saying that? That gentleman in his real life, he means in the upper world, his real life, that means Swarup, in that world, he is a lady. You see, or aspires to be, gopi. Right? But because he's carrying a mundane conception in the upper world, it's not actually the upper world. And due to Krishna connection, there is offspring. Right? So he's canceling him as being unqualified for Rasa Shiksha. So that's Srila Saraswati Thakur. How deep is his vision? Srila Guru Maharaj says in the when the disappearance of Srila Saraswati Thakur came, and the devotees were having to deal with that, Guru Maharaj asked that the concluding words of Chaitanya Charitamritam, his concluding poetry, what he had written there, that be read at that time. We're also celebrate this observance today, like to read the same. Because then Bhaktivinoda Thakur, generally, he has his own position as understood from the consideration of the disciple. Like Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Saraswati Thakur is also his disciple. Said Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur has seen Radharani in him, a relative vision. He once said, Radharani represents the full play of the Astanayika, 8 characteristics of the heroine. We see that they're all perfectly represented in her. In other places, we may find partial representations of them, but we find them fully manifested only in her. He said, I see my Gurudev as Guna Mandri. In that Mandri form, he has some partial representation of Radharani. But if I attempt to look more deeply, I find him identified fully with her. Those 8 qualities displayed there. If I look at him with my head a little more erect, I can see he is one with Radharani. Acharya mam vijaniyat. No, the Acharya is myself. If I give more attention to the Shastric rule to search out the meaning, I find that Radharani comes to take her place there in the position of my Gurudev. In this way, he has seen Bhaktivinoda Thakur, the fullest representation in the cult of Gauranga. This realization is expressed in his poem where he says he saw Swarup Damodar Goswami and Gaurkishoras Babaji Maharaj and Gadadhar Pandit and Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And one place he has written, Gadadhara Dina Dari Payache Gaura Hori, that he has accepted the day of the disappearance of Bhaktivinoda Thakur to be identified with that of Gadadhar Pandit. And another place in his poem, at the conclusion of his Chaitanya Charitamrita commentary, he has written, here in Navadip Dham, the eternal pastimes are going on continuously, only for those who've got that deep vision to perceive it. Gadadhara Mitra Bara Sri Swarupa Damodara Sarakala Gaura Krishna Jaje Jagatera Deki Klesh Diarya Bhikshuka Vesh Aharaha Krishna Nama Bhaje Sri Gaura Ichai Dui Mahima Ki Kavimui Aprakrita Parishado Kota Prakata Hoya Seve Krishna Gaura Bina Deve Aprakasha Kata Jata Tata. He said, it is very difficult to perceive the sweet will of Sri Gauranga, but if we can lift ourselves to that level, we see that Swarup Damodar Goswami and Gadadhar Pandit are always engaged in their service here in Navadvip. Sometimes it is suppressed and sometimes appearing on the surface. In that plane, all is going on by the will of Sri Gauranga without any restriction. But now I find that those two have appeared on the surface as Srila Gaurkishore Das Babaji Maharaj and Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. I have seen it with my own eye of divine service, but this is not to be advertised, not to be given publicity anywhere and everywhere. People will laugh, but this is my heartfelt conclusion. He has written this in his poem concluding Sri Chaitanya Charitamritam. So Gadadhar Pandit was identified with Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. That was the vision of our Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He could see the same identity there. So with that sort of divine vision, when Srila Guru Maharaj came to write about the disappearance of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he is saying in his poetry that and we know that Mahaprabhu, he appears in Navadvip and winds up his manifest Leela in Puri. And Guru Maharaj is saying, here, the opposite, Saraswati Thakur is appearing in Jagannath Puri and disappearing in Navadvip Dham. And when he alludes to his, in that song, Nayana Mani, his internal identity, Nayana Mani Manjari, he says that one morning that Vrishabhanu Nandini, Srimati Radharani, awakened, and she's feeling deep separation from Nayana Mani Manjari, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and called him to her side into the upper world there. So Srila Guru Maharaj, when he's describing the disappearance of Srila Saraswati Thakur, that is the beginning verse. So Madhusudan Maharaj, see you there?
Yes, Maharaj, I'm here at your service.
So I would like if you can say a few words on this holy occasion.
Maharaj, by your request, I must say a few words, and Maharaj, very happily also to emphasize to myself as well as to all of the devotees how Srila Saraswati Thakur has given us our whole standard of Krishna consciousness today, and you've given us like the substantial inside of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and the form of our Krishna consciousness. He's presenting to us for our highest gain. And this Saraswati Thakur, who you've been describing, he's given us what is best for us in our life. And so he's given us the method of our life, even the cloth, the standard of the wearing of the cloth, the routine in the temple, the sadhana, the emphasis on devotion, what is seva, the mantras we are chanting, all of this, we know that Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Sudhir Goswami Maharaj, he continued as exactly that Srila Saraswati Thakur presented. And Guru Maharaj, he always expressing how others may have their opinion, do as they do, they may do, but I will closely follow. I will carefully follow what our Guru Maharaj has given. And we know also some example there about how some section, they felt, oh, we should change the etiquette of the cloth that the devotees wear to get more respect from the public. But Guru Maharaj very strongly objected that they are changing what was the standard set by Srila Saraswati Thakur. And so soon after his disappearance, he also commented. And we had some very first-hand experience of that, because we were not aware of, or still not aware of, so many things, but you can say by accident or innocently or guiltily, we went to a mat where they changed some of the standards. And then we had very politely explained to us by Guru Maharaj about these matters. So Srila Saraswati Thakur has given us our best opportunity, our best standard. That standard maintained by Guru Maharaj and Gurudev, with no doubt some adjustment for time, place, and circumstance. But Srila Gurudev pointing out too that there were many disciples of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So many heard from him, met him, but who knew his inner heart? That was Guru Maharaj. And Guru Maharaj was unanimously accepted as such in the time of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, as well as after his disappearance. And Gurudev gives various evidences of this, of the devotees he's met, and the disciples of Srila Saraswati Thakur that Gurudev, Srila Govinda Maharaj met. And Gurudev also pointed out that Srila Guru Maharaj, he gave sannyas initiation to 19 perhaps of Srila Saraswati Thakur's disciples. And he's saying, why will they come to Guru Maharaj for this? They know what is there in Guru Maharaj, as also this mystic transmission took place at the very last Leela of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's presence in the world, when he asked Guru Maharaj to sing, specifically to Guru Maharaj to sing that flagship song of our Sampradaya, Shri Rupa Manjari Pada. But not only that one occasion, it is before Srila Saraswati Thakur's disappearance. Before that too, year by year, devotees are coming to Guru Maharaj to get understanding of Srila Saraswati Thakur's message. Again, there is the message, but also there is the heart transmission, the transmission heart to heart. And so again, reminding ourselves of the greatness of Srila Saraswati Thakur, the greatness of Guru Maharaj and of Gurudev and of Srila Prabhupada. This way that the magnanimity, that deep magnanimity and message of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur presented to the world. And yes, one side very strict, but on the other side, I mean, alarmingly broad to distribute the message of Mahaprabhu, and that the whole world will know about Mahaprabhu. And even we heard from Gurudev one pastime when some of the Westerners who came at first to India, to Srila Saraswati Thakur, and they visited the temple, but they, in the daytime perhaps, were bathing as Western custom. If they're going to take a shower, if they go to the public baths or something, they're bathing outside and completely naked. To local people say, oh, we are kind of shocked by this. And then Srila Saraswati Thakur, not wanting to disturb anybody's mind of the visitors who came, who don't know anything basically about the culture, the proper culture. Then Srila Saraswati Thakur said, so you make one like a wall, maybe a wall from the bamboo matting or the reed matting, something like this, so that the public don't see. So if they're bathing naked, then make a place so they can bathe naked. But he wasn't there to give like the instruction of the codes of the traditional India, etc. He wanted that the message of Mahaprabhu will be broadcast, that they will accept that and take it to others. And we are the recipients of that mercy of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur coming through Srila Guru Maharaj and Gurudev. And may our grandfathers, great-grandfathers, great-great-grandfathers in some cases, whatever it may be, may Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur be merciful to all the sincere devotees coming to take shelter of the holy name, coming for reality that's been exposed, presented, made very clear as it is by Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And by the way, that Bhagavan title also coming from Gurudev, because he saw that Srila Saraswati Thakur, in some ways, people maybe think, oh, he's another of the devotees. I mean, another of senior devotees maybe. But in order that Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's position may be like emphasized as so prominent, then Gurudev, after meditation, means he considers everything. He does everything with deep and proper consideration. And it is he who gave this Bhagavan before addressing Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And he got criticism from various quarters, but Gurudev very strongly saying, no, Bhagavan must be for Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And Bhagavan and Gurudev then quoted from various places and about how so many others, including Vyasadeva, including Narada Muni, and including other places, and we see they are addressed as Bhagavan when this extraordinary quality is found, then Bhagavan is so appropriate. So this is just a few words from me,
and
Maharaj.
Maharaj, in that regard, I want to say, because Gurudev also told me, he said, remember, in the parlance of Gaudiya Math, Prabhupada means Saraswati Thakur. In the parlance of ISKCON, it means His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. But Gurudev said, I've been all over the world. He said, whenever you say Prabhupada, it means His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. So if you say Prabhupada, that's who people think. Within the parlance of Gaudiya Math, but the whole world, you say Prabhupada means Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. And as you say, so he said, I want to give some special distinction to Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, because sometimes it's said, you can judge a guru by his disciples. So you think, who are his disciples? You know, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who fulfilled his order, spread Krishna consciousness all over the world. Bhakti Om Vishnupad, Bhakti Rakhak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj, so Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Dayata Madhava Maharaj, Puri Maharaj, Ban Maharaj, Jaja Maharaj, so many, these great Maharajas, they're all disciples of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He said, so therefore, and Bhagavan, and we would look through, I'd say, oh, I found another one, you know, Bhagavan Drona, you know, Bhagavan, you know, Bhagavan Badarayani, Bhagavan Badarayana, Bhagavan Narada, but even, you know, Bhagavan Drona. So there's some objection to Bhagavan for Srila Saraswati Thakur, but someone persisted. So Gurudev said, oh, okay. He said, and he has all of Guru Maharaj's library, his personal books. So he pulled out a volume and opened it to a page and showed him in the marginalia in Srila Guru Maharaj's handwriting. He said, can you read what is there? It said, Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So like, if you can't accept that from me, this is someone who purportedly accepts the Guru Maharaj. So can you accept this? As you say, Gurudev, before he decides something like this, it's after deep meditation and it's thoroughly vetted before he comes to the point of actually expressing something. But that's why he began to give Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So, and the last line of Guru Maharaj's Pranam, Vilasatu Hridi Nityam Bhakti Siddhanta Vani. May the divine voice, instructions, teachings of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur play upon our hearts eternally. And where that is playing upon the heart of one, there we find the Krishna consciousness movement is alive and well and healthy and thriving, whereas at the heart of the matter is the divine instructions of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, with the infused in his disciples and the succeeding generations. It's really the sum and substance of the Krishna consciousness movement. The potency behind the Krishna consciousness movement is he is that pure devotee in the mat conducting this kirtan. And of course, the lion's share of credit for spreading Krishna consciousness movement all over the world goes to His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, whose Saraswati Thakur's voice played upon his heart very nicely, an extension to others. What we see. So the wealth from the heart of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, taken and enhanced by Saraswati Thakur, put it in distribution mode, distributed by Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada all over the world. And Srila Guru Maharaj is revealing what is that wealth. There's no doubt the wealth has been distributed everywhere and channels have been opened. Then Guru Maharaj is there to explain to us what is the wealth that you've received. He said, like children whose they get an inheritance, right? So they're just children and they get this inheritance. They say, do you know this, how much wealthy was your guardian? So there's someone there who can reveal to you the magnitude and the depth of the wealth that has been received. And that is Srila Guru Maharaj. So with that, I like to conclude with the Pushpanjali, chanting one of the many numerous pranams that Srila Guru Maharaj wrote for Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And we'll get the flowers and Jai. Jai Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Tirubab Mahamahotsavatiti Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur, Tirubab Mahamahotsavatiti Ki Jai. Nitai Go Premanande. Hare Krishna. Get ready for kirtan, okay? All right, I like these. Oh, the microphone. You have your flowers, everyone should have flowers. Yes, but everyone should have flowers in their hands. Sri Siddhanta Saraswati Iti Vidito Gaudiya Gurvanvaye Bato Banu Riva Prabhata Gagane Yo Gaura Sankirtanai Mayavada Himingilodara Gatan Udritya Jivaniman Krishna Prema Sudhabdi Gahana Sukam Pradat Prabhum Tambaje Jai Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Tirubha Mahamahotsavatiti Ki Jai. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Radhika Charja Saraswati Sri Srimad Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Tiruba Mahamahotsavati Ki Jai. Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Tiruba Mahamahotsavati Ki Jai. Prabhupada Srila Saraswati Thakur Tiruba Mahamahotsavati Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Saparikar Sri Sri Guru Guranga Gandharvika Giridhari Jiu Ki Jai. Jai Saparikar Sri Sri Guru Guranga Gandharva Govinda Sundar Jiu Ki Jai. Jai Saparikar Sri Sri Guru Guranga Radha Govinda Sundar Jiu Ki Jai. Shri Giriraj Govardhan Ki Jai. Sri Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasari Go Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopi Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Navadip Dham Ki Jai. Sri Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Sri Gaudiya Mat Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Mat Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai. Sri Gupta Govardhan Ki Jai. Ganga Devi Jamuna Devi Bhakti Devi Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Om Vishnupad Vishvavaranya Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Madhacharya Brinda Ki Jai. Jai Srila Bhakti Vimalabhadut Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Srila Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudan Maharaj Ki Jai. Sannyasi Brinda Ki Jai. Seva Brinda Ki Jai. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Tiruba Mahamahotsavati Ki Jai. Nitai Go Premanande.
Jai Srila Bhakti Sudhir Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi. Hari Hari.
Jai Srila Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudan Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Divya Shakti Didi Ki Jai. Sachi Sutan Lakshmana Dandavat. Achutananda Dandavat. Suresh Krishna Prabhu Dandavat. Jai Bhakti Asrai Dandi Maharaj Dandavat. Seva Rupa Didi in South Africa Dandavat. Jai Srila Bhakti Sevan Rishikesh Maharaj and Abhazi Dandavat. Torni Didi Yashodanandan Prabhu Dandavat. Rasananda and Soji Dandavat. Udaran Prabhu Dandavat. Jai Hare Krishna. Jai and Balavanta Prabhu and Tonks Dandavat. Kum Didi Dandavat. Banavi Didi and Rome Dandavat. Ajita Krishna Prabhu and Kiselni, I think in Moscow Dandavat. Subhada and Tomsk Dandavat. It's a warm day in Tomsk. Lila Sundar Prabhu Dandavat. It's in Siberia, in case you're wondering who don't know. Ekadashi. She's also in Tomsk. Oh, so that they're spreading it around. Chaitanya Nitai Prabhu and Vrindavan Dandavat. Ashapurna Didi in that sweet lake city Dandavat. Pavel Brun in Moscow Dandavat. Ranga, she's in Germany. Hare Krishna. Madhavi Lata Didi, I think in Petersburg Dandavat. Bhakta Das Dandavat. Rasananda Prabhu in Ukraine, Dandavat. Anjali in Ukraine also Dandavat. Parmananda Prabhu at the Govinda farm, Dandavat. Madhavi Lata, another Lata. Another Madhavi Lata. Odessa, Barun, Dandavat, Kora Chandra Prabhu, Nadhodka, Dandavat. And Jamuna is here, Bila Govinda. Nityananda Das is here, Rupanuga Das, Praneshri Didi, Sulakshana Didi is here, Ruslan here, I don't know where, Lakshmi Priya Didi in Kiev, Shanti Mohi in Italy, Dandavat, Dhananjaya Prabhu, other, and Suchitra, Shanti Mohi, Pavan Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat, Damodar, Dandavat, Rama Ratan, Dandavat, Kishore, Anindita, Dandavat, Gokuleshwari Didi, Dandavat, Odarjalila, Dandavat, Somya Sham, Dandavat, Anantadev, Dandavat, and Vratsvav. He's in Poland? Yes. Oh, okay. That's a surprise. I believe, is that everyone? All right. Vanchakalpa Trivyascha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat, everyone.